Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about Apollo Crews and his upcoming heel turn and what that could possibly mean for Big E, Sami Zayn, etc. So, we first see Apollo Crews sitting under the learning tree of the boy, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So he's learning about control from Roman Reigns. That's what he's learning. He's learning whether, how to control his own destiny, all these sorts of things, right? After he get coached up by Roman, it's Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn in a unofficial #1 contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. So what we get is so Sami Zayn's out there with his crew, his camera crew, because he's a conspiracy theorist. He thinks people are out to get him. And then we get Big E laying on a couch in a Ghostbusters sweater while on commentary. Like, his commentary is him laying on the couch, right? So we got a lot of elements floating around here. You got Sami Zayn, you got the camera crew, you got Apollo Crews. He's considering that heel turn. You got Big E, who's kind of mocking Apollo Crews on commentary. And that was the fun stuff to me. Right? Like, Big E is on commentary talking about, oh, well, I didn't really listen to Paul Heyman. I didn't really need Paul Heyman's guidance. I heard it. I took it to heart, but I didn't really listen. I ain't need that. Apollo Crews, but he needs that, though. Apollo Crews is a young man that needs some guidance. Like he would say, Apollo Crews needs some guidance. And Sami Zayn's wearing the I Am the Intercontinental Champion t-shirt. So he still feels like he's the rightful Intercontinental Champion. And of course, Apollo Crews has a claim to the title because Apollo Crews pinned Big E. And Big E actually has the belt. So during the match, Zayn is yelling at Big E. He's yelling at various other people because he's a conspiracy theorist. And they just keep saying conspiracy theorist, and people say this as if it's a negative thing. Like, you're always a conspiracy theorist, when they can't prove you wrong. But they want to make sure you're a conspiracy theorist if they can't prove you right, but not if they can't prove you wrong. That's really weird. Anyway, Corey Graves is talking about the way that Big E won the title. He said, like, the way you won the title is fueling Sami Zayn's conspiracy theories. Like, you won the title in a lumberjack match, and Apollo Crews helped you. And Big E's like, look, man, I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make it a lumberjack match. I didn't do that. The lumberjacks lumberjacked. That's what they did. Lumberjacks were lumberjacking. That's what they was doing. And I won. And but Corey Graves was very smart to bring that up, because that is one of the that is one of the things, right? Like, Sami Zayn was already a conspiracy theorist before he lost the belt. He thought it was a conspiracy that Jeff Hardy even had it. That AJ Styles had it. But now you got Big E with it, and Big E only got it because of Apollo Crews. So he's going to beat up Apollo Crews for, helping Big E. And he has Apollo Crews pinned. And he pulls the tights, the referee sees it. And the referee sees him pulling the tights, and he's like, no, not counting it. Nope, not doing it. And Sami Zayn's like, what's going on? And then Apollo Crews rolls him up, pulls the tights, ref doesn't see it. He gets pinned. So, this match was fun. And after the match, Apollo Crews goes out there, kind of picks up the Intercontinental title as Big E is lounging. He kind of looks at it, and Big E jumps up. He gives it back to him. And he's like, I'm coming for it. And Big E said, keep coming. That's the last time you're going to touch this, I promise. Come on back with it. So I love this segment because it accomplished so much in a short amount of time. Right? They had a good match going, but they accomplished 3 or 4 things. One, they established the source of one of Sami Zayn's biggest conspiracies. And that is, the lumberjack match, right? He lost the title in a controversial fashion. Two, when it comes to Sami Zayn, is that he got pinned, you know, and the ref didn't see it. So he even says after the match, how did you call it on me, but you didn't call it on him? How did you see me pulling the tights? You didn't see him pulling the tights. So not only we've established that he's a conspiracy theorist and what his conspiracy is around. Two, we've actually seen that there is, you know, mistakes that were made. It was a simple referee mistake, but we see why he would believe it's a conspiracy theory. Because he cheated. He didn't say he didn't cheat, but he's surprised that he got caught and Apollo Crews didn't get caught. So we've established those two things, which are very important to the Sami Zayn character. They're actually more important than the match. Now, he did lose the match, but which means he's not going to be able to get into contention for the Intercontinental title. But that just means not right now, right? He's still in the picture. He just not next up, you know? And he's still wearing the I Am the Intercontinental Champion t-shirt. With Apollo Crews, we established three things, right? We established that, one, Apollo Crews is willing to take shortcuts. We've established that he talked to Roman Reigns and that Roman Reigns told him to take control of his own career. He also talked to Paul Heyman. They talked about talking smack on this show, which adds more layers to these characters. You know, Paul Heyman told him to go and take the Intercontinental Championship. Go and take it like a man. Come back to me with this title like a man. That's what Paul Heyman told him. So that's what he intends to do. So we take that Apollo Crews is willing to take the shortcuts because he's been listening to Roman. He's listening to Paul Heyman. He's willing to antagonize Big E. You know, he went over there. He just took the belt from him. And then, you know, he gave it back, but he took it from him, confronted him, you know. And we know now that next week they're going to be facing each other for the title. And I'm going to give my thoughts on that in a moment. So with Big E, we see that he is, you know, blissfully involved with the Intercontinental title. And, you know, doesn't really, he kept the title, you know, he won the title by a complete fluke that Apollo Crews just happened to be out there and catch Sami Zayn to bring it back. But he had nothing to do with that. He didn't make the rules. You know, Apollo Crews lost the Intercontinental Championship match because he got double pinned. He didn't make the rules. He didn't do anything. You know, he's only responding to things that are happening around him. So Big E is sort of passive in this situation. Like, you know, he's still being silly, being goofy. He's being very passive, though. Big E isn't making things happen. Things are happening for him. You know, Apollo Crews is in a position where he has to make things happen. And Sami Zayn is in a position where he's trying to make things happen, but then things keep happening to him. So when you are, you know, a top character in something, you're always more interesting when you're active. Right? When you're active, like I always try to do videos on the active part of the story. The person who's actually doing something. People who is making a decision or doing something of that effect. Big E is not really the important thing here. That's why he was in the passive role. This position was about Apollo Crews. Right? Because Apollo Crews is the only one in this that's acting and succeeding. You know, like Sami Zayn hasn't really been able to do anything yet. But Apollo Crews is in the active zone. He actively cheated against Sami Zayn. He actively started antagonizing Big E. He actively sought out Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman to get advice from them. Because I'm almost certain, you know, Roman didn't invite him into his dressing room. He probably had to go and ask. You know, he had to go and seek that out. So Apollo Crews versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. This is what I would do. I would switch the title. I would have Big E lose the belt, probably due to Sami Zayn and some foolishness that he got going on, with him maybe protesting the match, which I think would be funny to take the conspiracy theorist to the next level and have him protest the match and saying this match shouldn't happen. I'm the real Intercontinental Champion. The referee screwed me last week. Maybe just have him get in the ring with a picket sign and saying this match won't happen. I will not be moved. And, you know, Big E is trying to get him out of the way. You know, maybe he tosses him, you know, beat him up, throw him over the top rope. They have the match. It's like 6 or 7 minutes. Sami Zayn comes back with his picket sign. I will not be moved. He's outside the ring walking around like I will not be moved. And it's distracting, but it's only distracting to Big E. Apollo Crews doesn't care. Apollo Crews wins. And Apollo Crews wins the Intercontinental title. Now, I know a lot of people may say, well, Big E just won the belt. Why are you taking it from him? The thing is, Big E doesn't really need it. He's going to win the Men's Royal Rumble, which a lot of people seem to believe that he will. He doesn't really need it. Now, it's possible that Keith Lee could win the Royal Rumble. You know, I'm cool with that too. My two choices are Big E or Apollo Crews. I mean, not Big E or Lashley. But I would switch the belt just so Big E can chase Apollo Crews, because it's almost always better for some guy to chase and cement Apollo Crews' heel turn here. Or that could be my second guess. Like if I had two, one, Sami Zayn costs Big E the title. Two, Apollo Crews is willing to cut corners, cheat, manipulate, lie, etc. to win the title. Either way, in both of my choices, Apollo Crews gets the belt. Right? And he holds it for a little while. Maybe he tries to avoid the rematch with Big E. Maybe he defends it against Sami Zayn and beats Sami Zayn, and then he kind of avoids the rematch with Big E. Now, what I think will happen, what I expect to happen, is for Big E to beat Apollo Crews and maybe have some type of a Sami Zayn interference, maybe, or a conversation before or after. But I expect Big E to win this match. Either way is fine. You know, I think Apollo Crews needs the belt more than Big E. But I'm also okay with not switching the belt so often and letting Big E get a run with it. I mean, he just won it on Christmas, right? So it's only been like 3 weeks. So I'm okay with, you know, him not having I'm okay with Big E having this 4-week run and then losing the belt. I'm also okay with Big E winning it, you know, or winning the match. But I do think that if you're going to turn Apollo Crews, to cement that heel turn, he needs to be successful. If he's going to, especially if he's going to align himself with Roman Reigns, he needs to be successful. And I think if you're going to have Apollo Crews sitting under the learning tree of Roman Reigns, he should be successful. He should say, I listened to Roman. Look what I got for listening to Roman. Look at what happened with Jey Uso when Jey Uso listened to Roman. He got biggest run of his life, main events, yada, yada, yada. I listen to Roman. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. You know, I make more money now for my family, yada, yada, yada. I think that's the best way to go about this. And I still believe that you can protect Big E by having a lot of Sami Zayn bullshit. And then maybe you could do a triple threat match in a couple of weeks. Sami Zayn, Apollo Crews, Big E for the Intercontinental title. That would be fine. You know, just do the circle jerk, have Apollo Crews wrestle Sami Zayn again in 2 weeks or something like that, or 2 or 3 weeks. Again, Apollo Crews versus Big E, and then Apollo Crews, Big E, and Sami Zayn. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the hashtag 3Count commentaries. If you're interested in my other videos, this is the first video you've ever heard. 3Count commentaries is your key. You know, it will be in the description. Just hit that the blue bar, and it will link all my videos up that are in the 3Count commentary series. If you are in somebody else's channel, be sure to tell them, hey, if you're interested in wrestling, hit this bar, 3Count commentaries. My good buddy Mongo Slade is great when it comes to analysis and all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to give you a script, but you know how to, you know, get the name out there. Also, if you feel like, you know, you want something specific for me to cover, send some money and an idea. That'll be dope. Also, if you just want to send me some money because you like me, that's cool. I'll take that too. Either way it goes, man, I thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate you.